Hello there, General. So here's the interesting story that we have here, and so you must remember that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, pretty a long time ago, there was this little boy called James Damore, and he wrote a little memo which stated, "Hey, look, Google is not having the amount of women that they want to have because for these reasons, right? Nothing to do with my discrimination or my inclusivity not being there. It just has to do with the fact, the facts of the matter, which is at the core of it, females don't really want to do these jobs, right? Very, very simple explanation. He gave all explanation, all the statistics, all the data. Now what happened was that uh, Google did not like this one bit, right? Google this spread around, and eventually discovered it was him, and Google decided to, you know what, we don't like this at all. This goes against the equality cult, so we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna axe this. So what happened is they kicked Jim Damore out. Right? That's what they did, and it said, so let's go in this article. So it says after screaming about discrimination, ex-Google engineer James Damore suddenly asked court to dismiss the lawsuit. So a little boy here, a little man, has decided to, well, too bad, give it up. Instead of like fighting to the whole way to like block, prevent Google from doing it, yeah, he just decided to, whatever, let's just dismiss it, probably get a settlement. So, more than 2 years later, the battle between ex-Google engineer James Damore and the company is over. Although we won't know much about it, it ended. Earlier this week, Damore and three other men asked the California court. By the way, California, of all places to, have to, a freaking court case, a suit. California is probably one of the worst. But anyway, to dismiss the lawsuit, which claimed that the company discriminated against conservative white men, which, by the way, it does. It literally does, blatantly. Google also joined the request for dismissal. So they asked for it first, which probably means that, Google probably paid them some money or whatever to be like, stop annoying us. Stop annoying us, little one. You're not chat. Yeah, you don't stand a chance against us, little one. As part of an agreement reached with Google, first reported by Bloomberg, Damore and his fellow plaintiffs were barred from saying anything about the matter besides what's in the court filing, which is not much. Well, here's the thing: we know all we have to know, right? The fact that this went on for 2 years, by the way, really, really. Damore's lawsuit has been one of the most high-profile fights in Silicon Valley in recent years, and has made him a darling of the alt-right and the conservative media. Yeah, of course, the evil, scary people, those evil, scary, scary people. The memo was filed for Google in 2017 after writing a memo titled Google's Ideological Echo Chamber, suggesting that women are underrepresented in the tech industry because of inherent psychological differences between men and women. The memo went viral inside and outside the company. Was he right? Yes, he was 100% correct, undebunkable. It's just that the religious this religious like fervor among these liberals, right? And that's why they decided to reject it. In the same way that freaking, I don't know, a religious nut may reject whatever part of science may push, like, I don't know, evolution or whatever. Oh, it's not real. It's not real because my holy doctrines said that it cannot be real. Anything that goes against my doctrines, in this case, the equality doctrine, must be wrong. In a statement at the time, Google CEO Sundar Pichai said that portions of the memo violate our code of conduct. So the truth, reality, violate their code of conduct. Okay, but you see, if your code of conduct is irrational, it's gonna lead to serious problems, all right? And crosses the line by advancing harmful gender stereotypes in our workplace. First of all, these gender stereotypes are here for a reason. It's because they're pretty accurate, right? They align very well with reality. That's number one. Are they harmful? I'm pretty sure that denying reality is much more harmful than embracing reality. So, and yeah, okay, so that's the thing. In our workplace, okay, yeah, sure. If you want to be irrational, why can't these people just go and say, we are irrational beings who only care about my equality and our doctrines, Why don't do that? Why stop lying? It is harmful. No, I just said you have a certain doctrine and you want to uphold that doctrine. Just say that. These people just blatantly say we have a doctrine and we're not gonna allow anything to get in the way of that doctrine. Dunmore proceeded to sue Google for discrimination in January 2018. Bloomberg, three other men who worked for or applied for jobs at Alphabet, Google's parent company, also signed on to Dunmore's lawsuit. In the lawsuit, Dunmore's lawyers argued that he and others were ostracized, belittled, and punished for heterodox political views. Which they were literally fired for going against equality nonsense. So, and for the added sin of their birth circumstances of being Caucasian or males. Yeah, true. I mean, let's face it. If they were women, they would probably be punished less. Having said the same thing, if let's say they were women, he probably might have not even been fired. Actually, in addition to suing Google, Damore also filed a complaint about the company with the National Labor Relations Board, the federal agency in charge of preventing and remedying unfair labor practices in the private sector. The NLRB determined that Google had not broken labor law when it fired Damore because although his criticism of the company was protected by law, okay, his discriminatory statement about women, okay, so you're being you're putting out reality, you're putting out statistics, and this is discriminatory statements about women, so we can't protect you. Again, you see, even the government is also irrational, and that's why America is going downwards because everything is irrational. The companies are irrational, the government's irrational, right? Oh, you're being discriminatory. Okay, and reality must be on a higher plane than your little weird. Oh, my discrimination is like maybe it seems to assume that it's wrong. If anything may lead to discrimination or maybe discriminatory or whatever, it's like, look, it's like, well, it's wrong because it's discriminatory, not it's wrong because there's something actually wrong with it. And so you're effectively assuming that nothing discriminatory that exists in, let's say, the world is correct or follows reality. It's a very weird thing, but it's a religious type of mindset. Even though we might not know the details of how the lawsuit ended, the most lawyers said it had an impact. Hamid Dillon, a lawyer for Damore, and the other plaintiffs told Bloomberg that the lawsuit had encouraged companies in Silicon Valley and beyond to create workplace rules to protect employees with alternative viewpoints and prevent bullying. Nonetheless, Dillon said she adopted the goals anti-conservative sentiment changed. I love how they put it in quotes. Anti-conservatives, listen, boys, they have an anti-conservative sentiment that's known. Anyone who denies that is just delusional. That's one. Google hasn't said anything publicly about the dismissal yet. Yeah, but they're probably gonna keep it hush. But we can probably guess is at his position on all of this by calling Peach's thoughts of the matter in 2018. At that time, Peach said the company's competition to fire Damore wasn't politically motivated. Well, it was religiously motivated, actually, to be honest, because their religion is equality. So you could say it wasn't really politically motivated, religiously motivated. They have their own weird, equality, religion, So because of their religion, that's why they did it. It's important for the women at Google and all the people at Google that, okay, there's women and there's men. So why, like, okay, women and then men? But we're not gonna mention men. We're just gonna mention people. Oh, okay, interesting. We're not gonna mention men by name. We're gonna mention women by name only. Do you want to make an inclusive environment? Okay, except for the people who don't follow our weird religion of equality. Yeah, if such people exist, we have to kick them out. You can't have those people. You can't have those bad people who go against our religion. He just said, adding, "I don't regret." Of course, it's like I don't know, a freaking priest deciding to order the execution of some evil in some freaking apostate. Oh, we executed him. If you ask a priest whether the execution was, if he regrets it, he can say, "I don't regret it. I was doing my religious duties." So, but anyways, yeah, that's all. So what do we have to learn from this? Well, the first thing we have to learn is don't trust in these little heroes. Is we're gonna have a lawsuit against Google. We're gonna do something. Look, they have too much money. They have too much money, right? And what happens is these guys are gonna get bribed with money. They're just gonna get called up with money. They're gonna get paid money to shut the hell up. And you may not like it, and say, "Oh," but that's how it is. So don't put your trust in these people. Also, and again, he was fighting on their grounds. You're fighting on the system's court system, right? And you're fighting based on these people's ideology, because he was like, "Oh, wow, they're discriminating against me," right? "Oh, they're discriminating," because you're effectively fighting. You're fighting on this battlefield of, well, the equality religionists are not being equal enough. They're not treating us equal. They're not treating us conservative white men equal, right? Than the other ones. It's like, well, yeah, the priests can pretty much decide whether they can. The priests can decide to follow the religious law and not follow the religious law, depending on depending on who it is they're dealing with. It's a pretty corrupt thing, But yeah, that's the thing. Now, speaking of religious law, yeah, it's a religious. All these things are very religious in nature. Right? All this equality, all this anti-discrimination stuff, it's very religious in nature, right? So when you deal with these people, you have to treat them like religious nuts because that's really how they behave. Anyway, that is all, and you're probably disappointed, but yeah, that's how it is. That's how things are. And hopefully, there's gonna be a next guy that's gonna give you a bit more false hope, so then you can wait for 2 more years, and then he's gonna say, "Oh, what? They just dismissed the court." So that Google can keep doing what it's doing. Ah, yeah, and hopefully, yeah, there's still hope, is there? Your hope every day. The darkness descends upon the cities of our civilization. Every day the darkness descends, and our hope and the light becomes ever dim.